Special good night to all the listeners joining us via the various mediums. Those of you joining us via We Noise Radio, I'm not sure if Real FM is on with us tonight, so I am not sure if they're on with us. If you're hearing us via Real FM, give me a shout out. So let me know if you're hearing me clearly. As I said, I don't know if it's my headphones or if it's the microphone. Let me just take one moment to sort that out. Let's see if that does no. Okay, well, folks are saying they're hearing me very clear. So it might just be me and my headphones. Yeah, let me just make sure I bring my headphones right up. Yeah, most likely just me and my headphones, man. Yeah, just making sure. So, folks, I'm going to give you the opportunity, an opportunity you did not get at the ending of last year, to call in and wish everyone a happy new year. Yeah. Mammy George, nice, yes, very, very loud and very clear, nice. I only hear one person saying they're hearing me a bit low when I'm speaking, yeah? So I hope it is much improved right now. Some are hearing it clear, some are hearing it low, and I know the reason for that, so I pulled it up a little bit. Yeah, we're dusting the cobwebs out of the system. Alicia Abraham, good night to you. I see Denise Sandy is there as well. Let me see who else is there. Ashma Charles, good night to you. And Agnes Henry, good night. Vanessa Lalji, Gillian Noel, Kathleen Dedlow, Phyllis Mitchell, Deborah Laborde, yeah? Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Alban Harris, Claude Abraham. Welcome to all. You're posting right after each other. Huh? Ann Andrews, Ruth Chitterman, Francis George, Mr. Adrian Watts, you and your lovely wife. Cynthia Bartholomew, Errol Bonaparte, Dolores Redhead, Anne-Marie Grant, good night to you. Faithlyn Hallie Douglas, Velma Pascal, Michelle Alexander, good life. Baby Daddy. Yes, indeed, folks, remember to hit the like button. Marilyn Ferguson, good night to you. Elsie Peters, Gemma Warwood, Christine Otley, Lona Lola Williams, girl, we make it. Rosalind Jones, Clive Raymond. Come on, folks, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Talking Points is back on. Rosalind Jones, Clive Raymond, Anna Lewis, John Stafford, Amanda Moses, Jakeem Williams. Good night to you, bro. Wilfred Antoine, Moko Joseph, Brian Joseph, Christine Alexander, Wilfred Antoine, Joyce Lewis, Sydney, Jillian Williams, Teresa Joseph, Jackie Raymond, Patsy Frank, I see ya. And we have a call online. Hello, good night. Hello. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon. I cannot hear you, please.
Okay, I think you're hearing me now. Go right ahead. Hello? Yes, you're live, my friend. Very loud. Go right ahead.
Happy New Year and Happy New Year.
All right.
After Ganin.
Yes, we're hearing you, you know. Okay, we may have lost them there. All right. Yes, so let's see here. Jackie Raymond, Patsy Frank, Fado, Deborah Laborde, Red Girl Pascal Osbert, James, Lydia Isaac, Christine Otley, Louise Joseph, Merle Patrick, Kenny Buckmeyer, Augustin Bridgman, Hermione Calise, Antonito, Joyce Phillip, Ron Julian, Faithlyn Holly Douglas, I see you again. Bernadette Joseph, Kathleen Knights, Chris London. Come on, everybody's in the house. Mavis Mitchell, Marilyn Pancho, Rick English, Andrea Alexander, Jerome Lewis, GJ. Yeah, come on, folks. Hit the like button. Let's get it up, man. Yeah, the folks on Facebook say we ain't Trump, you know. Yeah, you had to come and you had to give us a little something too, yeah? Yvonne Courtney, Cynthia Bay, Peter Stryker, Lois, Errol Bonaparte, hey, cuz, adorable Kathy Levine, good night to you, Cicely Celestine, Lynn Joseph, Wallen Aquat, Ingrid Bourne, John Mark, Jermaine Lewis, Linda Imelda Francois, and let me see, Kenrick Gibbs, Martin Charles, Enid Dakota, Maudlin Bartholomew, McLean Mitchell, Betty James, Phyllis Charles Histon, Augustine, or is it Sidon? Norma Roberts, Esther Peters, Pamela Hackett, Evelyn Narayan, Sherms Houston, what's up? Agnes Dowden, Nesta Sinclair, John Henry, Laslin Douglas, share me. Good night to you and Keda. Yeah, Wallan Aquat, Rebecca Stafford, Sherry Lambert, yeah. Nurse practitioner Wendy Ann McGuire, Rebecca Stafford, I seen you all over, girl. Tora St. John, Rosanna Nichols, Olive McEwen, Jesse Sherry, you're down there too. And all of you hitting me up on the WhatsApp right now. The Ford crew out there in PD10, Anne-Marie, Rosanna, Jenna Lynn, the whole squad out there in Ford. Good night to you all, huh? It is our year of victory. It is our year to overcome, innit? Everyone is hearing us, loud and clear right now. Okay, and we say a good night to the listeners via Real FM. Yeah, we're gonna take your calls. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. But before I start to take your calls, and while I'm taking your calls, oh gosh, boy, what? Listen, I've been going around over the past few weeks, and so St. Andrew, no, I did not get to reach the St. Patrick, but St. Andrew, St. John, various parts of St. George, St. David especially. Man, listen, the only thing that graphic with somebody bathing in a pothole is joke. It has some pothole people could bathe in, you know, man. Jesus. Oh boy. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night, my dear. How are you?
Happy New Year to you.
And to you as well, my love. I haven't heard your voice for
Okay,
quite
this
a
is
while.
Auntie Mona.
That's what I said. I haven't heard your voice for quite a while.
Stephen Courtney in America. Happy New Year to you, to all my friends.
Yes, indeed.
You know where I live in. You know how to find me.
Yes, I do. So when I'm coming up on that ends, I will look for you, my dear. Hello? Yeah, listen to me on the phone. Listen to me on the phone.
Right, so
When you're-
everything good with you?
Yes, for the time being. Just
Yes.
the little throat infection again. You know, that comes every now and
I'm
again.
listening to you on the phone.
Yes. All right, my dear. But you know, I have the
Right.
problem with the throat
Happy
every now and
New Year
again.
to you, Dr. Kit Mitchell. Holy Fort. Have a blessed night.
All right, my love. You have a good one as well.
Right.
All right. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So, folks, the phone lines are open 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. And again, let me reiterate that one. A special good night to you, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. Listen, one or two people telling me still they're hearing me low. Everybody else telling me loud and clear, so I don't know. I'm trying my best from in here. But we'll work on that. You know it goes. While I intended to actually rest over the past few weeks, I barely got any rest. Huh? I had some projects that I was working on, and believe me, I barely got any rest over that past couple weeks. Yeah, so let me see. I ain't find a seen enough likes there yet, man. All you have to like up the thing. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I was telling you all the pothole situation is pretty annoying. And I know quite a few people have been complaining about that. Now, one of the situations is this. Remember, as of last year, you've started to pay more on your vehicle registration on a yearly basis. When you go and you inspect and so, you're paying a little something more that is supposed to go towards road repair. But I can say this clearly. This is the worst in the last 30 years or so I've ever seen the roads. Yeah? This is the worst I've seen it. And the thing is, you're not hearing anything from the government that's saying that we're going to fix it, or we're doing this, or we're doing that, or so on. The supplementary budget that was put in place of August last year had over $15 million towards asphalt works. In other words, to fix those roads. We are yet to hear of the date. I don't know if it came across news tonight, but I didn't hear it so far. We are yet to hear a date for the presentation of the 2025 budget, the same 2025 that we are already in. There are consequences to that. There are consequences to that. So it's either that they're incompetent and cannot produce the budget, and I'm not referring here to the people at the Ministry of Finance. Again, I'm not referring to the people at the Ministry of Finance. I know that they're capable. If under one government, they're able to prepare a budget and have it ready by the month of November, and under another government, they can't do that. It has nothing to do with the people, it's the leadership. Because it's not a difference of the people in the Ministry of Finance, it's the same people that are there. The same PS that day. So the same people that are there. So it must mean something is wrong at the leadership level. And not just the leadership level within the Ministry of Finance, but the leadership level in the country. That up to this point in time, we cannot hear a set date that says the Grenada national budget for the year 2025 will be read on that particular day. We're still waiting to hear that. Up to this point, we cannot. Yeah, up to this point, we still cannot hear when that will be read. So we're still waiting to hear when budget day will be and what will be put in place on budget day for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Only today I started receiving some messages from some Imani trainees who have been sent home. Now, in the later part of last year, during November and December, the folks who had Imani trainees and they were working in the private sector, so not those that are working with government, they with a ministry or so on, but those working in the private sector, for instance, they may be attached to, let's say, a daycare. So they're attached to a daycare or something like that. And the daycare is not government run, but privately run, but the Imani trainees are attached there. The people who are running those facilities, the private facilities, were told that the Imanis will be withdrawn from them as of this month. And now I'm hearing from some Imani that they have been told that they have to stay home and that sort of thing. So they're doing that. Meanwhile, they're rolling out a Imani program again, which they just give a different name to and decide that they're not going to take males in that program. So it's nothing. The only thing different with this thing is that they're going to be doing it for a shorter period of time. They say for 1 year. Huh? So they've started to roll out that particular one. So I know of quite a few young people who have registered for that program. I'll be kept updated. I'll know what's going on. Small Axe, good night to you, bro. Hope you're having a wonderful one. I see Tyrone is there as well. Yeah. Wallan Aquad, good night, my bro. And Charmaine Ragba Singh Jr. George. I see Jennifer Louise. Yeah. I see you all just joining. Remember to like and share. So as I said, I'm giving you all the opportunity to call in. It's our first program for the year. How could I go heavy tonight and how could I go real heavy, yeah? Just decided not to go too heavy tonight. We've got a lot of stuff to speak about this week. You know, we have to keep you updated with what is taking place, what has been taking place. So 440-737-7347. Oops, yeah. 440-737-7347-347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to get on the inside. Good night to you, Miss Camille Teresa Scott. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight, Auntie Cammy. Hello, good night.
The voice of one crying in the wilderness, Sheldon. How was your New Year's?
Well, my New Year's was the usual, you know. I just took the young one out. We looked at the fireworks, went back home and go to sleep.
Wonderful. And how's the children?
They're good, man. They're good.
Great, great. Sheldon, it's really painful, you know, listening to you as it relates to the Imani young people. I mean, it's very sad. I mean, To be honest, as one who works under the money program for the past 12 years, I could remember. I'm very emotional, man. I could remember that this administration promised to make the young people permanent. You don't have what they do say to get the votes of these young people. And under the last administration, these are the young people that enter into the money program with pride. I saw the money program change the lives of many of these young people. Sheldon, what is very much concerning now, these young people, some of them have a little loan from a riser, have a little loan from the credit union and most of the financial institution. They take a little thing by quotes. And now these young people have to be told that you're out. We don't need you anymore. Sheldon, it's really painful.
Let me ask, Pastor, have you been getting the same messages as well? Because I've gotten a few today. I knew that during November and December, that the Ministry of Youth Division of Youth as they call it now, contacted some of the service providers in the private sector who had Imani trainees attached and told them that as of January, the trainees will be removed from their place of business so that they had to either hire them permanently or do without them, but that they would be removed. And in some of these cases are businesses that barely hanging on, and the Imani are providing a very tangible service to the business. Yeah, so we'll see how that develops. But
again,
some of them saying today that they got called, they have to go, their home is home.
But when you look at it, Sheldon, listen, bro, if you go to most of these private entities, these Imani trainees are asset to many of these businesses. And what is really painful is that most of these young people, as I said, had take a little thing from a riser to make their life better. A little fridge, a little stove, a little addition, a room, a mattress, a television to make their life better. And then, this is inhumane because these are the very, Mr. Prime Minister, you claim that you will make them permanent. You promise them hope. And no, you're destroying a foundation. The hope that you build for them, no, you are destroying the foundation under these young people. Where will they turn to, sir? What will they do? Will courts take back the bed? Take back the mattress? Come on. How painful that is for the financial institution. Sheldon, I believe that these young people definitely are going to retaliate. Are you need a vote next election? I guess not. The former administration built hopes for these young people, Sheldon. I say young people that came under the Imani program who are prominent in different ministries throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique under the former administration. I saw nurses. I saw doctors. I saw police officers. And you promised them to make them prominent. In other words, you lie, you deceive them. They believe what you say, and now you break their heart. This administration is going down in history as poor people, terrorists. I rest my case, Sheldon. I'm very emotional. I see these young people under the last administration with pride in what they are doing. You lie, you deceive them, and now you're sending them home. Have a blessed night, Sheldon.
All right. Thank you so very much, Pass. Yes, indeed. 440-737-347-329-310. And that's the thing, huh? The promises that were made in the last campaign, we realized that all of a sudden it seems as though those promises are changing in nature, eh? Yeah, we've got another call online. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
Good night. How are you doing?
There, Sheldon.
Are they eating cake? Yeah, go ahead. Listen to us on the
What
phone
is that,
line.
Sheldon?
Listen to me on the phone line. You'll hear what I said. I say I did eating cake. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sheldon. They promised the young children a lot of things, and that is why they had jump behind them. They promised them they wouldn't send them home. They promised them a lot of things. And I hope the young people is thinking, and they're thinking, the next election coming up, right? A lot of them, they could vote, right? They're going to put out a lot of things and say, walk like, they're putting all kind of a thing out to hold them again. And I hope the young people will think, right? The look at the road walk. Road walk, look all inside Woodlands Cafe Road, high woods are there by the roadside, all in them drain and them water can go out. Right? I see they're doing a little piece of walk down the road. But inside here, I never see inside cafe like that. Right? So I hope they think about what they will be doing and what they will, who they will be voting, who they will be putting in office at the next election coming up. I hope they won't jump and wave and run behind them again. They have to think positive because that is their future. Their future. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, bye there. Thank you so very much. Yes, indeed. And you know, folks, I have a good friend of mine on with me there. I wonder if I could bring him on. Let me see. A partner of mine, they watch partners. I go in and bring you on. But let me let you know that I'm going and bring you on, you know. Right. I hope you're hearing me. Are you hearing me, sir? Right. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I hear you nice and clear, man. Hey, man. Let me bring you up, man. People have to see that smile, man. Yeah, man. You're working with Bryden and Miners or Huggins. You're advertising toothpaste, man. Kitaka
I wish
Mauto.
I could do that commission. I could do it some commission right now, you know.
Kitaka Mauto. How you doing, bro?
Well, I'm good. As suggesting a smile. Had a busy day, but somehow when I work hard and had a lot to do, I feel good at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah, man.
I'm basking in that.
You feel much better. You feel more accomplished for the day. You could rest
Facts.
properly. Yeah, man.
Facts.
Yes, indeed. So how has it been going? And officially, although I've said it on another forum, officially, a happy new year to you, sir, and to your family. Yes, indeed.
Thanks and same to you, bro. And all the best for the season. I feel lucky to be your first guest on the program for 2025.
Well, you know, sometimes we have to grab it. We could grab it, so we grab you. You can't get
Yeah,
away.
that's it. And Rasta Unite, I hope you walk the business and frolic with the swine and things for the holidays.
Man, watch me alone. Eh? I find you getting personal, Dave. Kitaka. Now, I was just speaking about an issue there that we have been having, and that is I've been hearing from some of the Imani trainees that they have been sent home. So been hearing a bit of that. I don't know what you have been hearing as a young person yourself and interacting with other young people. I don't know what you have been hearing, but I've been hearing that from some of the Imani trainees that they have been informed that they're going home. So this is basically the last week. Or some of them, they've already gone home and that sort of thing. Have you been hearing anything like that?
Yes, I've been, and for me, it's very unfortunate because we have a government or party who campaigned heavy on youth, fresh ideas, new faces, youthful energy, reimagining, transforming, all of those amazing words. And we're going into 3 years in office and nothing tangible you can really see in any way to show that they're really serious in following through to provide opportunities for the young people. So it's very unfortunate. I remember under our administration, thousands of young people being inducted in the batches of Imani. You know, like Youth Biz, Project Fly, Empower, and right now, what do we have in contrast? I mean, and to hear this unfortunate news, imagine being a young person, the economy is already tough, cost of living is rising, and to be greeted with no income, no opportunity in 2025 is not a good time to start. For me, I still try to, I don't know if I'm delusional. I hope this is not the case. I hope that it's reconsidered. But if that's the case and these allegations are indeed true. It's a very sad way to start the year for young people.
Yeah, because we've heard from this government before, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. The young people were promised one, the end of contract work. We're not supposed to be having anybody on contracts right now, because they said within 12 months of taking office, they would regularize all these folks within the public service. Now we're hearing all sorts of different machinations and calculations of how they're going to address these groups of people who should not exist at this point in time. These people ought to be full public servants at this point in time, with all the benefits that a public service servant should receive. And we're going to talk about pension, not tonight, but another night we had to talk about the pension thing. I was going to speak about it tonight, decided now. We hold that one. Maybe Wednesday night. We're going to go into it in depth because there's quite a lot in relation to that particular issue. And you look at what has been taking place, what is taking place with our sporting facilities, what is taking place with the Ministry of Sports. It seems as though the Ministry of Sports has gone asleep. You're not hearing much out of them, and so on. And you ask what is really taking place for the development of young people under the administration that say that they are made up of young people and they're energetic and so on. And all you're seeing is guys just doing social media but not actually doing any real work. That's what's taking place now.
Yeah, so an analogy I like to use to describe this current government is kind of like, the men and women who would bad talk your partner to get you. So let's say me, I see a man, I'm going to bad talk him to get you, man. And I say all the sweet things, the sweet lies. I'm telling him, don't worry, I will take care of you, man, rich. Me have it, you got it. And then when time come and you give me the thing now, and inside, I just start to just decrease and decrease and decrease. And before you know it, you're in a worse off situation than the relationship you was in. And we're seeing that happening in all the different aspects of our society. Big, lavish promises. And when you look at what is being delivered halfway in, going into 3 years in, an election could call this year. I mean, the report card ain't looking good at all.
Remember, the NDC administration has now passed the halfway mark. As of the 23rd of December, the NDC administration has passed the halfway mark. In other words, they have less time. This current administration has less time in office than they have spent already. In other words, we don't have to spend the same amount of time that we've already spent under this administration before a general election. Yeah, so they have less time in office as of the 23rd. That was the 2 years, 6 months point. They have 2 years and less than 6 months now. So we don't have that amount of time. But the analogy I think I want to use, I remember years ago when mobile phones just became a thing. You just had the pay as you go coming out. That's when people now start to get phone and you have to put your little $25, $100 and thing on it. I was going from town to Grand Dance and everybody, you just get your phone and so. And there was this guy and he was talking on the phone from the bus terminal all the way down to, I don't know if you know where Captain Harris area is there. And he was talking on the phone coming all the way down. And he was about, man, leave my car alone. And I tell that man, bring back my car ready and park my car there. And while he was talking on the phone rang. Because he had no credit on the phone and he wasn't actually talking on the phone. So he was giving an impression of something that he's not. And it's the same thing with this administration. They're talking a lot. They're giving the impression that they have a lot and they're doing a lot. But when the time comes, you realize the phone ring on them and there was no call in the first place. I mean, the whole bus catch a fire because it was not actually on a call. That's this administration. A lot of talk, yap. But when it comes to actually doing or showing, it's a different situation. And that's the situation we find ourselves in. Yeah?
Yeah. As young people would say, a lot of capping,
Yeah.
So please stop the capping, NDC. Stop the capping. Like, it's time to start to get to work and stop capping.
So the Christmas season, I think you would have been around and so on. What are some of the things that you noticed? I myself can't speak much. I must honestly say, I try to avoid coming into town as much as possible. I try to stay home as much as possible because again, as I said, I'm working on various things. So I try to stay home as much as possible. You may have gone around. What are some of the things that you saw like in St. Andrew in town? What are some of the things that you saw over the Christmas period?
Well, I mean,
business-wise, people-wise, etc.
yeah, well, Sheldon, the cries are unanimous and it's loud, you know, across different sectors in business that this has been one of the slowest periods economically in a while. I mean, I think it's being echoed everywhere. It's no longer a secret. I would say on Christmas Eve, there was a higher level of people being in town or Grenville, but did that translate into any significant amount of sales based on preliminary data? No, it didn't. So we can safely say that business people did not experience that buzz that's usually accustomed to around that period. And you know, our economy is seasonal. You know, the carnival is a boost. The Christmas is a boost. I mean, look at the situation on the port. Many of my friends in business, even, you know, close family, my friends who wanted to capitalize on bringing in their stuff for the Christmas period had to deal with the unfortunate occurrence of some people not getting the goods on time to be able to capitalize on that period, who actually know in the red because you didn't get that boost. Things were already hard and you know owe the port because you're picking up late fees. Some people are not even able to go and clear the stuff. They're like so despondent. I even had a colleague share with me that one of their friends actually got a stroke as a result of having not being able to receive his goods on the port. So to me, the report card on the Christmas season trending down. There wasn't much green passing around, to be honest. And it's unfortunate. And you know, January is seen as the very hard, long month. So imagine not getting that base during December to carry you through. So I hope, you know, the Lord provides in some way, but it hasn't been good for the business community during this Christmas period at all.
And Kitaka, we also have to take this in the context of the fact that the face of business itself is changing. And you have the stores in town, and I've mentioned it on this program before, that eventually you're going to see some of them having to close or reduce operations. Yes, people had a lot of stuff on the port that they wanted to sell and so on. But there are also a lot of people that do their shopping now online. So somebody want a pants and so on, they know, okay, I'm shopping online. They buy 3, they buy 4, they buy different things and they bring it in and they have that there for when they need. Whereas before somebody wanted that to go in town and you had to walk around and you see 3 places, 3 different price, but you're walking around because you're looking for the best price still. That in itself has sort of tapered off. So a lot of folks now, they're buying this stuff online or having people buy stuff online for them. That is affecting business one way. So when you have these bottlenecks as what took place on the port for whatever reason, the bottleneck that took place there, and the fact that people didn't have that spending power, they don't have the spending power because those who are buying online are the people that already have the spending power. And when you don't put the spending power in the hands of those that didn't have it, in other words, instead of increasing the number of things like the bushing and so on, or creating opportunities through various projects so that people could have a little money, especially around the Christmas time, that they could spend and they could feel like somebody, okay, are able to go in town and buy something. They may not even have a debit card or something to go and buy online, but they can do things otherwise. You're killing the economy. And there's no strategic approach by this government to the realities of what is taking place in the 2025 economy of Grenada. When it comes to the business places and the challenges that they face, there is no approach by this government of how to assist them to continue in operation or to switch in operation. So we have that taking place, and I feel it for a lot of the people because some of these people are the same people Pastor was talking about earlier. You had the Imani and so that went in Ariza and different places and take loans. Some of these people went into these institutions and take out a couple $1,000s to be able to shop and buy this stuff and bring it in with the hopes that Christmas, the week coming up to Christmas, they could hustle. Some do it from their vehicles, some find a spot and sell, but that they would be able to do that. And even those that were able to get their stuff weren't even to get proper sales because the money just wasn't there. Yeah, the economy itself is changing. Yeah, as a good friend of ours, I ain't gonna tell you which one. He just say the Grenada was so dead for the Christmas that even the PM didn't stay. He go to spend it somewhere else. And I know, sir. I seen all kind of thing. I seen on one thing, one release say he went on personal business, and next one say he went on official business. I don't know where he went on.
But Sheldon, I mean, let's look at the psychology of the Prime Minister right now. It must not be fun to be the Prime Minister right now. I'm so he's stressed out, you know, because coming in on this high. I remember when he came into office and you look at a Facebook Live, thousands of people excited, new fresh face. But 2.5 years in, going to 3 years, and all that hype is kind of like
Yeah.
diving down. You look at the roads, you look at the situation, the cries on the ground. I'm sure any chance he get to jump a plane and to get a respite away from this current situation, he grabs at it. In all honesty, because it's heavy is the head that wears the crown. I mean, a lot was said, a lot of capping, but now you're in the seat, and it's a serious responsibility when you look at the young faces that looking to you to take the decisions to make things happen, and you just can't seem to get some basic things right. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. I'm sure he has to take pills to fall asleep. I'm sure he needs to find ways to entertain himself and really distract himself from the situation. I mean, let's just be real right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
not an easy
not
one.
easy, and that's why, as a party, the New National Party, we see it very, very critical now for us to accelerate our work, our organization, and preparedness to rescue the country. It's just plain and simple.
Indeed.
Because we cannot allow the current trajectory to take place and happen without intervention. The country cannot take it.
And the thing is that, and you must admit this, that a lot of folks within the NDC are looking towards the NNP to rescue them, They're
Facts.
looking towards the new National Party to rescue them, because a lot of the people who have voted for the National Democratic Congress have come to the realization that they can't make it. The Prime Minister is always out. You can't say it's because he's chairman of Carriacou right now. He's no longer chairman of Carriacou, so you can't use that excuse. But he's always out. New Year's, you decide you don't even want the New Year take you in Grenada, so you're out during the New Year's, that sort of thing. You have many ministers that are absent without leave because we don't know where they're there. You ain't hearing about them. People asking, in fact, they've gotten to this stage now, they're not asking to see their MP. They're saying we doesn't see them and we don't want to see them. That's the stage a lot of folks have gotten to at various locations. And you know that thing's bad when it gets to that stage. You have an incompetent group of people that now, even the membership of their own organization is looking towards the new National Party to save them. That says it all about what we have as a government right now.
Well, it's interesting, because prior to coming out in the front line with the party like this, there was the reservation of, its politics could be nasty, the personal attacks and so on. But to be honest with you, Sheldon, in me coming forward with the party, I have not been receiving that. And low-key, even people who I thought were strong NDC supporters are silently and quietly meeting me on the side and be like, we like what's going on with all you, I hope all you know, things like keep it going and keep building the momentum, and so many people who would have given them a chance, or even the diehard NDCs who would have sold bakes and fish in the hot sun for years, being in the political wilderness for a decade, 15-0, no seats in parliament. Imagine them who work so hard and really stand for the values of the party, looking at how things are right now, seeing like a new bunch who never sweat in the sun, come and reap the rewards and personal gains and stamp up their passport, buy land, buy house, buy big pickup, even if they go into the office. They're not doing any construction or working in any farm. And then those die-hard NDC supporters are sitting there. The situation has not been improved. They're not being valued. They're not being considered. Many of them are very disgruntled, and I'm sure they're looking to see when we open the gate to the new house that we're rebuilding. And so that's why, our work ahead is very, very, very critical. And give credit to the new political leader.
They could sit down in the veranda still, eh? They could come and sit down in the
Get down
veranda still. Yeah. They could sit down
Well,
in
we
the
have like
veranda
a
still.
hose outside,
Yeah.
But
They could
give
come.
credit to our new political leader as well. I mean, we had a very amazing executive meeting today, where she shared snippets of a comprehensive strategic plan that ties into her 5-point agenda for the party. And I can tell you, the energy and the vibe in that room today was to the top. Like even I'm new to the executive, so I'm thinking, this is how it's been. But people who are there, are so excited now and motivated, and we are doing a lot of heavy engine work to really like prepare and get ready for the massive work ahead. Because we wake up every day feeling like election is tomorrow. That's the kind of mood and energy that's flowing right now, and we have to, because I mean, when we look at the current situation, everyone is still looking at the NMP for that hope for the future, because the current future under this government doesn't look bright.
No, indeed. And folks, I'm speaking here with, in case you do not know him, Kitaka Mautua. I ain't even trying to pronounce the middle name. Chukumba?
Chakumba.
Chakumba. Yes, yeah, bagay, you know. I say I ain't pronounce anything and I get Chakumba.
That you're doing good, man. Simple syllable. Chakumba.
Yeah, but so and this is the thing, you listen to what is going on out there right now. You speak to people on the street, they meet, and I'm telling you, in the times that I did go out, I try, as I said, I was doing so much that I was trying to not leave home. But each time that I went out, you had people meeting you and just saying, boy, we need these guys to go. These guys have to go. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They're destroying the economy. They're damaging the economy of Grenada. The busmen are telling you that. You're hearing about all sorts of things that are taking place with the buses and so on. Now, some busmen, some of the taxi men are complaining about the new innovation that has been introduced, the tuk-tuk. They have some issues with it, and I think to the news companies, well, they might want to speak to some of the taxi men about what they believe is taking place when it comes to the tuk-tuk and the licensing of those vehicles to be on the road and that sort of thing. I ain't saying it. Let the taxi men tell the news people about it. But they have issues with that and what is taking place with it and how it is not one, how it is affecting their business, one, yes, but also the safety concerns and so on that they have in relation to it, because you're operating these things, no seatbelt, nothing, and you're operating these things on the nation's road and so on. So there are issues, and nobody's saying that you're hating on somebody for starting a business. I'm glad they start a business and so on. I'm saying that there are concerns that need to be addressed. Yeah? In the same way that we have the situation with the roads right now. And I know you're a man, you're all over the country. All over the country. Man, how much has your change?
I made a joke recently. Like, I went down in a pothole and I need a crane to pull me out. I'm serious. And then I hear some excuses from the current government surrogates, like, oh, rain falling, you can fix the road, or if the road wasn't bad all along. And I'm like, you in leadership. Like, I don't want to hear those excuses right now. Like, no one cares about that. Like, you have a responsibility to fix the road and keep the infrastructure up on point. And the current prime minister is the minister of infrastructure. Even going through the tunnel, the entrance in the tunnel, or the exit of the tunnel, you have no way to turn. You must go
and under the tunnel too.
Come on, man. I mean, the Morris Bishop Highway, like everywhere, like you have to choose right now, I treat some of these potholes like an obstruction, because sometimes I'm not going down there. So I'm putting on my indicator and I'm stopping and I'm waiting for traffic on the other side to move. Sometimes you don't have a choice because there's potholes to the left, potholes to the right. I mean, come on, we have to be honest about where we're at right now, and the roads are in a terrible state and we need to fix it. And there was a time when the government came into power, raised the insurance fee and said it was for maintenance of roads, and still we are not seeing any kind of a major improvement in the roads. Rain has always been falling. I mean, we have to fix the roads.
And the thing is this, there are situations, and I'm not blaming the road crews. I like to make sure that when I'm saying something, people don't take it out of context and say, oh, you cussing this one or you cussing that one. I'm not blaming the road crews. Because if I give you, Kitaka, a job to do, I know what is required to do that job, and I don't give you the tools, the equipment, the materials to do that job, then I am at fault. So I'm not blaming the road crews. The road crews know what to do. But you're seeing situations where some areas are patched, and after being patched, less than a week later, you see the pothole come right back. And not necessarily due to rain, and so because the materials that are given to them are not the right materials to do the job. I've seen it in several locations. Some of them, you see the material come out, it melt. And it come out and it form like a hump on the edges, and it sink in the center. That sort of thing. And that is because they are not receiving the correct materials, and not the road crew. they're not being given the correct materials.
Well, even in the Molyneux area, the new piece of road that was the pavement, that's to the start and to the end of the massive work that was done there with the road in Molyneux. Even right now, it's almost every time they're patching it up right now. I mean, but something has to be done. I mean, like, where are the engineers? Like, where, like, you have to figure it out. Like, you have to, because at the end of the day, lots of colleagues and friends are crying out under the, the damage that has been done to their vehicles and the exorbitant cost to repair tires, shocks, rims, whatever. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Maybe they have a deal with somebody with a tire place. You never know. Because I can't
No,
understand
no
why.
comment. No comment.
No, I'm trying to understand why there is not a significant attempt to try and fix some of these problems that we're seeing around. And even the road crews themselves who are doing the patching, they are still older. These are people that not getting the money every time you see they're out there. Sometimes they have as much as a month and sometimes as much as 6 weeks, 2 months salaries inside they ain't get yet,
I can confirm that. Like, one of my past students from Boca, I saw him on the beach New Year's Eve, looking at the fireworks, and he came and tell me that. He didn't even tell me Happy New Year. He was like, "Oh boy, I had 20 days inside, and Christmas, and I ain't getting nothing." And and I'm like, I have to ask myself the question, because I see our MIT minister is very active on social media. He's doing a lot of things. Like, it just seems he's just doing a lot on social media. But based on my recollection of memory, his ministry was the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. I remember antics in the parliament about things being in the pipeline, low implementation rate, and him having that responsibility to interface with all the different ministries to clear up the bottlenecks and to create higher implementation rate. But if we are to judge him not on social media antics and posturing, but to judge him on his delivery of projects, like, how many projects are being delivered on time? How many projects are under budget now or over budget? Like, how many projects are actually being implemented? What's a major transformative project that has been implemented by the MIT? Like, these are some of the questions that come to my mind at night when I saw some things going around. He's the most influential person in Grenada over the year or whatever. But I'm trying to look for some of the data to back it up. And when I see the roads and so on happen, I'm like, how come I'm not seeing the MIT minister more busy around the place? I'm even seeing roads right in the south. Like, if you go to the Spiceland Mall, right by Monrouge there, pulling in from Lamaki Complex, like KFC, that area there, you're literally going down in Granitang and Lake Antoine. So for me, it's like very baffling in this particular moment to see how these things are unfolding.
Yeah, indeed. And folks, I'm gonna take some calls from you all in a while. I'm gonna try to see if how we try to fix the system. Kitaka will be able to hear you as well. So we're gonna try to take some of your calls in a little while. Not quite yet. Gonna try to take some of them, the calls in a little while. Yeah, what we're seeing with the state of the roads, and I don't think it could be overemphasized. I've not seen roads this bad in the last 10 years. I've not seen roads this bad in the last 20 years, and definitely not in the last 30 years, because I know the new National Party, they redid the road network throughout Grenada. You're talking about going up on the western side, going up on the eastern side, going through Granitang, everything. But now you're seeing such dilapidation because, one, they're constantly being told, you need to do the debushing and keep the drains clean. If you're not cleaning the drains and you're not sending out the teams in a timely manner to keep the drains and so on clean, and the water is flooding and overflowing, it's going to damage the roads. It will damage the roads. Those simple things have a lot to do with how the state of the road is, and also the constant maintaining. You must maintain. Instead, you're having pothole giving birth to children and having grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That is what you see taking place right now. You pass this week, you see one pothole, you pass next week, you see the family spread. And it is out of order. We need these things to be addressed, and we need them to be addressed ASAP.
And you see that, Sheldon, and it takes me back to the same point, because let's say, for instance, the Prime Minister and the MIT Minister are supposed to be held accountable for this. because they are directly connected to the ministries that has to play the role there and the teams and so on. So let's say, for instance, the prime minister is traveling a lot. Some people are saying, okay, he's making connections, bringing in things for the country, even though we're not getting any reports on that to say, well, okay, I went to India, I got 50 scholarships, I went to China, I got this. We're not getting that. But where is the time spent in the situation room? Where is time spent in the dark room, looking at the crises and the different issues in the country that needs to be addressed? So let's say, and these individuals are driving on those roads every day. So you can't tell me you're driving on these roads, your own vehicle going on in those holes, that's your responsibility. And there isn't that sense of urgency. Because based on when they speak on the media platforms, on their social media, to me, it seems like they are in another world, or they are ostriches, head in the sand, and they're just like screaming out and listening to music and getting themselves intoxicated in their reality and not the reality on the ground that we, the average person, have to face every day. And for me, that's very, very concerning. It shows a significant level of being out of touch with reality. And they need to get a wake up call.
And I need to make this plug here for the people of St. John, particularly those who live in Florida, Cloche, those areas there. And the truth, because it seems as though you all do have a MP. I think you all have a MP up in those areas there, right? Since you all do have an MP, I'm going to speak for all you. The state of the roads there is past the stage of this damaging your vehicle or being an inconvenience. It has now gotten to the stage of endangering life. Yeah? Those roads are now to the stage of endangering lives. So it has to be addressed. And I'm saying it because it seems as though they don't have an MP up in that area again. You don't hear anything about this MP, you don't see them, and you don't know what's going on, you know? So I just have to make a plug on behalf of the people of that particular constituency. And all constituencies in general, but that specific area, man, it's bad. I saw some pictures coming out of there. Kitaka is like, if you know, like how Molyneux started up and you see the road kind of separating. Up in those areas, there are some spots that like that, you know, like the road actually separating into two and that sort of, and just no talk, no nothing. It's just jump a plane and say, well, okay, I ain't staying here. I want to go and see fireworks somewhere else. So they're gone for the New Year's and that sort of thing. When there are responsibilities that they have towards the Grenadian people that are being overlooked and not addressed. They are not being addressed. Yeah? Kitaka, we're going to try and take some calls. I ain't sure how you're going to hear it, if you're going to hear it, but we're going to try a thing.
Yeah, let's try. I'll see.
I think we have one on the line already. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Hello. Hello, caller, you're live. Go right ahead. Caller, you're live. Go right ahead. Okay, the individual is probably listening to the device in the background. Let's try the other line. Hello, good night.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. I'm not sure. Kitaka, are you hearing?
Okay,
No, I'm not.
hearing
I'm not
you.
hearing through the
Okay.
Zoom. I may have to put it on my phone.
Okay, yeah, but go put it on. Yeah,
I'm hearing the guest very clear, yeah?
you're hearing the guest,
Yeah.
but the guest isn't hearing
sorry,
you.
sorry, brother, I can't really pronounce your name. My apologies to you.
Just Kitaka, man. That's an easy name.
All right, okay. Sheldon, my concern is if a clever emphasis not being paid to our economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is slipping, and I know your guest can agree with me on that. It is slipping away, and it's slipping away, I think, very smoothly and fast towards another recession in making. If quick things not being done to fix it, I think we're going to be in trouble, because not just the economy as per se, as you said, the road, because one of the road I can speak about, and there are many, but I don't know how the people who are going to work in Glasgow Bay, when the rain falls, you really cannot walk inside it if you don't have a water boots. Yeah, I'm telling you blatantly, if you don't have a water boots, my brother, you cannot walk inside it. Yes, some places it's just full. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad this thing is. I mean, if you have a vehicle, you have to have a high vehicle. If you have a car, and based on the amount of rainfall, it is not a good thing for you to go with a car. especially if you have a low vehicle. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is very, very dangerous. And I think in the interest of Grenada, they need to come out clean and speak honestly. Because we are living in an open democratic society, right? My even concern is if you continue to behave in this such manner, how are you going to attract new voters? Put the parties aside in general election. How are you going to attract? Because we've seen things that just things are just falling apart. Yeah? What are you putting there for the younger ones who are going to be first time voters and seeing things like of this nature, hearing things of this nature? How are you going to bring them in? Yeah, the elderly ones, and the middle-aged ones, probably you can talk and make people understand. But the younger ones, you're going to convince them. It is very difficult. Yeah, it is very, very difficult. I think we need to pay very close emphasis to these things because if you want to go forward, there are a lot of more problems that you're going to face with. Yeah, and this thing should be openly looked at. Yeah, because you don't want to lose a country for your personal pride. Our country is more important. Yeah, it is very sad. It's very sad at times that people look at themselves. No. Yeah, your positions is because of your serving your country. Yeah, and if you truly love your nation, serve it in this true manner which you ought to serve.
All right. Okay.
Have a blessed
Thank
night.
you so very much, caller.
Okay.
All right, folks. 440-737-7347-329-3101. That's the number. Kitaka, I know you got some of that there. So, any comments?
Yeah, I heard him, and that last good road, I forgot about that road. I went down there recently, and I was like, this is a bad idea, because I don't have a big pickup. So, but for me, so we laugh and so on, but bro, it's serious, because like infrastructure, as much as when NMP was in power, and this used to be like, oh, concrete government, we can't eat roads, and that kind of attitude is playing out now in terms of the attention they play to a basic fundamental pillar of nation development, which is your infrastructure. Like you have to build roads and bridges and have trains and have people could travel and reach the different parts of your country and access resources and so on. Like this is nation building 101. And if you're failing at nation building 101, you could talk all big talk. It's not going to hit the people. Because at the end of the day, if I can't get to point A to point B, every time I let the rain fall, my life is at risk. How many people lost their vehicles during the rain episode recently last year? It's like, come on, this is ABC settings in terms of building and taking care of the affairs of the nation. And we have to start to get serious. I mean, we, as the NMP, we gave them a chance to get their foot wet, settle in, even though we knew it wasn't as easy as they was making it out to be. We still give them a chance to come in and prove themselves. And 2.5 years in, going to 3, it ain't looking good at all. And that's why, as a party, we're working so hard right now to ensure that we are in tip-top shape to rescue the country.
All right, let's try to take another caller. Hello, good night.
Hey, Fado.
Hey, Fado, what's up?
I'm alright, man. Compliments for the new,
Same to you.
All the beginning springs,
Yeah, man.
Kitaka, salute. So I know we on the roads thing, yeah? But a couple things come to mind. I remember a while back I was talking to you about the dysfunction. It seems to be purposeful, right? A lot of things may look like they don't correlate, but they actually move together. I was asking a question, if anybody knows, the proposed new prison, is it going to be privatized also?
Well, most of the prisons that you hear this speaking about now in the US and North America, and so it's privatized things, not government. Even if it's a federal run, they have they sublet it, they give a company it to run and so.
So you think that's what's going to be going on here?
Well, more than likely, that might be the approach.
Okay, so put it this way, right?
Let's hear what they're saying in relation to it.
Say again?
Let's hear what they're saying in relation to that aspect of it. But I think that it could be a possibility that is an avenue that they're looking at with it, that they're looking at a private
Privatizing
company.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So if it would be privatized, if it potentially privatized, right? The object is for capitalism to make profit, right?
Yeah. So you need people inside
So
it.
so exactly, the more dysfunction you have, it's more profitable for the system. If you look at in terms of the disarray with the school system, if you make individuals more belligerent and drunk on the source in the system, then you get more people committed to treatment that's being provided by which sets of organization in bed with this this administration, doing things kind of underfoot, more or less, if you want to use that term. So as I was saying, I think the dysfunction, we still giving these individuals the benefit of the doubt, thinking like, okay, it might be that they're messing up, right? But if it is that, let's say, common people, grassroots people, even certain businessmen on the ground could see these things. They haven't been trained in these professions, but they could see it. I find it very hard to believe that these people are not seeing it too, which would come across to me as it's being done purposefully. So the dysfunction is a way of, it's almost like they're creating a state of emergency because they have too much problems. Then they could get to bring in forces, right? Or they could use the military forces or the police forces against, especially since they get new equipment and all that, against the people, right? If they're changing the laws, like for instance, even the thing with the pension there, I was thinking about that too. If they're saying more or less you could knock out your pension quick, think about it. Well, in this case, a susu would be busting. Yeah, because if you have people not paying their full dues and they be able to jump off, then who's taking up the slack? You understand?
Yeah.
It's strategic. You remember they conform us to having a 1-year resolution, yeah? Every year we say we have a resolution. But these people, or people in general, like the masterminds, they make plans for 500 years, thousands of years. If you notice in the first fairy tales and the stories, like when the bad things come in, it's like 1,000 years after, 500 years after. So they actually putting things in place. They don't really care about what the Grenadian people are thinking right now. They move in silence. When people jumping up and drunk, they passing things in Parliament, innit?
So you're saying now that what you're putting forward is that there's a long-term game at play here, that there are forces who are manipulating these people and they are playing the long game. So we're seeing things now and not understanding the long-term intent. So
Exactly.
they're doing things now, and you create a situation where, okay, there's crime, there are people involved in negative activities.
Check.
But the long-term intent of the people who are behind the individuals pushing that is that,
Exactly.
hey, we are going to benefit financially. So while we
Facts,
might make
because
some money now, our grandchildren go make the money down the road.
Yes, they're destabilizing the place now so they can reap the benefits after. That's why I'm looking at it. Reason why I'm saying that is if you notice a lot of the PMs are buying up mass lands. How are they able to get or possess all this real estate in this short time of being in government? Yeah. What special perks they have that they gain these arrangements? So what would be the benefit of accumulating these lands, more so when they're relocating people that actually have lands already? Right? It's almost like gentrification again. So I'm thinking that everything that we thinking is like, okay, they are making mistakes, it's purposefully done. So I'm thinking. Yeah, that's why I'm seeing it. But anyways, let me don't take up much time to give somebody else to chime in, you know.
One thing with you,
Salud.
Fadu, you don't overstay welcome, you know. That's one thing with you. All right, brother. You have a blessed one.
All right, more time. You were missed though, fam. Trust.
Yeah, man.
The program was missed.
Don't worry, we back in full effect.
Say less.
All right, great, thanks. Yes, indeed, folks. Yes, Kitaka, I know you got most of that there. And this is my good friend, and what he's saying there is that he doesn't believe some of these things are happening like that. He believes that there are people who are behind the people who are in government right now that are using them to create an atmosphere, to create a situation that down the road they will be able to benefit from. That either them or their children would be able to benefit from. So you create the society that you would be able to financially benefit from down the road. Not necessarily the people of the country, but that you or the organization will be able to benefit from. Yeah? I think before we go, we have another caller online. Let's go back to the phone lines.
Sheldon, good night.
Auntie Mario!
Yes, I did as long this while I did waiting.
Yes, indeed. How you doing?
And Happy New Year Happy New Year to everyone.
Yes, indeed.
Everybody. Good night. Happy New Year. Sheldon,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand what is going on. I listened to you all earlier on, and we're talking about the economy and about the business people, and we ain't making no money. We're struggling. Sheldon are looking for cocoa. I remember as a young child, we used to have the cocoa boats come in and collect cocoa. People going and sell the cocoa, sell the nutmeg to go abroad. I cannot get some cocoa to make an honest dollar, and that was I was make me little money. Since last year, I begging. I go all about, I call all people I know where I used to get some cocoa I can't get. Well, what's going on in Grenada? What is going on in Grenada? Carriacou and Petit Martinique? You understand? I don't understand. People is suffering. I am 68 years of age, and for the years of my life, I'm hustling in the tongue of St. George. And this is the worst. This is the worst. And people suffering and they're not saying anything. Sheldon, a bunch of hypocrite people in this country. They're suffering and they will not say nothing. They're not saying nothing. People not speaking out. People not saying nothing. People walking and they don't get any money. But they'll come and sit down and you hear the shoo-shoo. Since last year they don't get paid. And it's coming out that sometimes they're not speaking to me, but I'm there. And they're saying they don't get money. Bossmen crying out. Some saying he good, some saying he bad. A bunch of hypocrite people. Grenadians are hypocrite. And I trust nobody. It's sad. It is really sad. I am speaking on me. Yeah, people are looking money for me, and I can't get the money. I cannot get it. I have things nobody buying. The most thing they go buy from me is a water. They buying a Coke. Whole everybody coming for Coke. Why not? So I'm making a plea. Anybody that have cocoa, if they have the raw cocoa, if they have the cocoa ball, I give a man a money this evening to see if he gets some in the factory in Victoria. I am suffering. Anybody have, and I could get a 2 or 3 or 4 pounds, I'll buy. People calling me, people coming with the money, and I don't have cocoa. So I'm going through a real struggle, and I do well. Me too foot sick, and I stress. There's a lot of stress because I have to pay my water bill, I have to pay my light bill, I have to pay my little cable. That's the only entertainment I have. So it's really hard. It's sad. It is sad. Grenada is not going forward. We going back. We go back, going backward. And nobody can fix that. Nobody can fix it. So it's sad. It's sad. All we have to do is to pray. Pray for the best.
Yes,
Anyhow, good night to everybody. Anybody have cocoa, please. I'm begging. Anybody have. I'm begging, please. Buy me survival. Have a good night to everybody.
All right, Auntie Cammy,
Mr.
you're
Watts and
wonderful.
Patty and Matthew, y'all good night. Bye-bye.
All right, Cammy, thank you. Yes, indeed, folks. So, yeah, a lot of you all were asking for Auntie Cammy. All you hear, Auntie Cammy. Nice. And Kitaka, I don't know if you've been getting that as well when it comes to the availability of cocoa. I have friends who are involved in, and relatives who are involved in production of cocoa balls and those sort of things, and they can't get. It's scarce. So I'm not sure if you're hearing me on that end there.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
It's
Specifically,
scarce
I
right
haven't
now.
what specifically I haven't heard about the cocoa, but I mean,
Yeah, it's
let's look at
scarce.
what happened. I mean, Beryl did a number on our agricultural sector, and the stimulus checks came in very late. We are approaching the dry season, so lots of farmers, were very like demoralized after burial. Some pivoted to other industries. I mean, it's not only cocoa, like there is a scarcities occurring in different basic produce that we usually have, and the importation of produce is at a serious high right now. Even things that you would think are native to Grenada are now being imported.
When you know getting banana, because before that was king banana, king plantain, you know.
Yeah.
No,
So some farmers who
it's not
brave
the
the
same.
weather and so on, they're able to have something. But I hope that, the farmers who have water systems and so on can really get a little ease up, because we have the extreme weathers right now where it's either extreme drought, heavy rains. So you're not really getting a rest. So now you plant and heavy rains come, and it's just as destructive as a heavy drought. So it's very tough. So I wouldn't doubt that there is scarcity in terms of cocoa, and I know for sure there is scarcity in a lot of other produce.
I went so far as had to contact people in St. Vincent to try and find cocoa for a person who is producing down here, because it is that scarce
Leroy
in
Smart,
Grenada.
Leroy Smart is saying cocoa is not in season now.
No, but
Maybe you might want to call and explain.
this is not a new thing now. What I'm saying here, for those who've been listening to Talking Points, you'd realize that Cami called months ago with the same issue that she could not get cocoa. Months ago, I'm talking 3-4 months now, we've been having this problem that they can't get cocoa. And you see, it's the broader part of it as well, that after burial, there wasn't a strategic plan that says cocoa or nutmegs or this or that, we're going to have a specific replanting, and you meet with the Cocoa Association, Nutmeg Association, you say, what do you need? Do you need manpower? Do you need planting material? Do you need fertilizer? What it is you need? Instead, it was, okay, your trees fall long, let me just give them some money. If all you use it for that, that is all your business. If all you use it for something else, that is all your business. But then you go in front of the media, you hand out checks and you say, well, we give them some checks. But a few months later, and a year later, and 5 years later, is there more of the produce on the market? Is it back to normal levels? Or is it a situation that farmers decide, man, I go in and put that money towards a bus or a vehicle and hit the road and do taxi. I ain't bothering to go back in the land again. What was the strategy in how you deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl? And you mentioned something there, and it's something that I think we definitely mentally and physically, etc., have to prepare for in 2025. We saw some of the most extreme weather that we have ever seen last year. We saw a hurricane, one of the strongest hurricanes ever in the Southern Caribbean, that just developed outside Carriacou and the Grenadine Islands and just wiped them off. Just literally flattened the islands. At that time of year, June, which is a time, they say June too soon, but this June wasn't too soon. We saw what happened. And just before that, the problem was not rain and water, and so the problem was dry season. We could not get water. Then the later part of the year, the problem was we get too much water. Too much water. You had flooding. In fact, just the week before Christmas, you had flooding again up in Grenville. Flooding because you had too much water. So there has to be some sort of understanding of the extreme weather. And we as individuals, and we expect the government to do it as well, has to prepare for this and understand that, hey, this is a likelihood in the year 2025, maybe even worse than we saw in 2020. We hope not. We pray not. We hope not. But it is a likelihood that we could see just as bad or worse in 2025.
And definitely, and it shows that our agriculture sector can't just be something we talk about now. Like, it's a serious national security threat to be food insecure right now, because if the boats don't come in, we don't eat, So the current government, even in a new NNP administration, we have to look at even ways that we have never even thought before to support and subsidize and help farmers to be able to get their production up, across island in different areas, because it's becoming a crisis in terms of our food security. And that's something we can't play with. And some of the farmers don't have the capacity to be able to manage the issues. And if they're getting stressed out and they're losing hope and deciding to go and do construction or hustle here or there, then quietly we just realize that things are just going to become scarce and scarce. then we're going to continue to eat rice, flour, sugar, and other processed foods, and then cancer increasing, all other diseases increasing as a result of us not having accessible, healthy, wholesome, fresh produce to consume. So it's something that has to be top of the priority of any serious government right now in terms of agriculture.
And you'd recognize Kitaka from, and you're way younger than me, but I know even within your time it would have been accessible. That when we were younger and we talk about snacks, when we say snacks, we're talking about we going and get some mango, we going and get some golden apple and some French cashew, we going and get some skin up. When we talking snacks, that the kind of thing we looking to go and get. These days you're talking processed with sugar and salt and all sorts of thing in it. I'm guilty of buying it for my son as well. He see it and he want the Pringles, he wanted this, he wanted that. And I'm guilty of buying it. But it's also due to availability of what we had before. One of the hardest things for me to find right now, maybe I'm in the wrong part of Grenada, I can't find guava. And it's a fruit I love, eh? And I can't find it. You can't find guava. It looks like a lot of the trees are gone. The cherries, the red cherries, the damsel, all these sort of things. That as children, when you say snacks, that is what we used to go and get. You're not seeing much of it around now. And then as if you're passing in town, you see somebody have it in a bag selling. But in the community, you don't see it as much as before. You know, and
Yeah,
that itself is lending to some of the health problems we're seeing, eh?
yep. And my dad, kudos to him. He's a strong advocate of planting some of those long-term trees. Because if you notice, lots of farmers, looking at the easy cash crops, which have a quicker turnaround, so you plant lettuce, you plant tomatoes and stuff. But what about planting, the things like the cherries, the avocados, the mandarin, the oranges, the plums, things like that, which would not be here today. You might not get to get the full benefit of it, but we have to start to think about the generations to come. I was fortunate that my dad thought like that. His dad thought like that. So while planting the short crops, they still plant mango trees and coconut trees and so on, which took, let's say, 5, 6, 8, 10, 15 years to be a whatever. But later generations can benefit. And I really think that we need to make some sacrifices and put down some of those crops as well, the breadfruits and other things that are
Sapadilla,
staples.
sapadilla,
Sapadilla,
mommy apple. I mean,
Mami apple,
sugar apple, soursop.
water lemon.
Yeah, man, you have to put down this thing and them don't you look to go and think, just a set of melon, which is quick turnover. But what about the others? The five finger and those sort of things. A lot of folks right now, and I think one of the problems is a lot of people after they get to a certain age and they may give the land to the younger ones. The younger ones watch it, and as soon as the people close their eye, they cut it up and they sell it for house spot. So all those agricultural things that were in it gone. And then who gets the blame at the end? The government get the blame. Oh, NNP don't believe in agriculture. But NNP didn't own your land that had all the fruit trees on it. You own that. And your children sell it out after you're gone. Or you sell it out for yourself. So I think we need to start looking a lot more into that. And that also brings me to, we're still wondering at the beginning of 2025 what is taking place with what used to be the Marketing and National Importing Board. We're still trying to figure out what is taking place there. We're not hearing anything about it. And I hope that somebody finds out from the relative authorities, the relevant authorities, what is taking place with what is supposed to be the Marketing and National Importing Board. Remember, they have a mandate to bring in certain items into Grenada. I think rice and I know for sure sugar. They have the mandate to bring that in and so on. But what is taking place with them right now? We're not hearing anything. There's no reporting. The only thing we hear is that somebody gone. Sometimes we hear they gone. We don't always hear. Sometimes you hear somebody gone. But these things that farmers are interested in, that the average Grenadians are interested in, we don't get any reporting on these things. None at all.
And it's sad because, again, it goes back to the same point we made at the starting of the show. Coming in, making massive promises and pronouncements, marketing board is going to be, recommissioned and transformed. And I have even had a conversation with a farming brethren of mine recently, and he misses the marketing board because it was an area where at least he got a show market for his stuff, even also access to produce at a reasonable price for consumers as well. So I mean, I'm with you on that train. Like, I would like to know what's going on with the marketing board. Like, is it still alive? I mean, I still see the stores, some of the stores being open, but at a very low capacity. Is it being recommissioned? When is the new entity coming to be on stream? And again, it's almost 3 years and we're not hearing anything. Even the Prime Minister promised to give us a report on the oil and gas situation. The year has ended. What's going on with that? Like, when is the budget going to be read? I mean, just basic fundamental things that were promised. We didn't even ask for that. These were things that were promised by the leadership of the country, and it's just not forthcoming. We're not getting any update. You're not saying, well, hey, we're trying, but we meet a stumbling block. It's just radio silence. And for me, it's very concerning and worrying. And it doesn't instill hope in the future as a Grenadian and looking forward to the future.
Do you think it's a level of disrespect for the Grenadian people by this administration that they don't find it necessary to report to us? I remember back when the NDC administration just came into office within a couple months, and the then press secretary said that they would be having these press conferences and engagements on a need to know basis. And apparently they were the ones who were determining what you need to know. So they would have these engagements on a need to know basis. And since then, we have these returning questions. You mentioned the oil and gas situation. The Honorable Gregory Bowen on this program exposed the fact that the documents that government was giving people the impression that were missing, that the government had the documents in their hands. The Prime Minister had to come out and admit that yes, they did have the documents. After that happened, we had the situation where the Prime Minister said to the Grenadian people by the end of November, there would be a press conference where they would discuss oil and gas. We're heading to the middle of January right now in the following year, and we're still waiting. Is it a level of, do you see it as a level of disrespect for the average Grenadian? Well, we know what's going on, and when we're ready, we go tell all you. That sort of behavior.
I think it's beyond disrespect. I think it's, I need to go into my thesaurus and find a synonym that best, describes this. Because I mean, this literally looking like looking at the Grenadian people like we're a big bunch of idiots. Like, and we don't like listen or pay attention. It's like you coming to us and you're saying, hey, I'm in charge. I'll tell you what I need to tell you when I need to tell you, even though we voted you in there and you are accountable to us. Like, you don't have any press conferences on a frequent basis. You're saying, okay, you're gonna tell us about something now, and it's just not happening. And you're just going along, doing videos, and just living your life, traveling, playing cricket, doing, just posing, having a good time. And the major critical things are not being addressed, not being updated. To me, I need to find a new word. It's beyond disrespect. And for me, it's very, very concerning. I mean, and if they were smart as a government, you would know that when you're in government and in any political endeavor, you need to control the narrative. And if you're not communicating frequently, how are you going to control the narrative? And it leaves so many room for rumors and speculation and doubt, because you're not coming and say, hey, this is that. We are here and hearing about oil deals signing in Africa, way and thing happening, and our leadership is just moving like normal. We seen big project, Build Back Better, this, that. We can see a statistic that come out and say, okay, between October and now and December and November and now, we have distributed 100 Build Back Better houses, because we know they'll plaster things when it's done. We're not seeing that. All we're seeing is just coming soon, picture of work taking place, and we're not seeing smiling families in those houses. So for me, it's a matter, it's something like very reactive. When people talk online, they run fast, take out a few pictures, they run fast and post up something launching, and then it just falls flat. And we've seen that across many different sectors. It's the same playbook. And to me, that's not a good sign. And as I said, it's beyond disrespectful. I need to go and find a word for it.
Because last year, and talking points, we're taking a pat on the back for that one. Because last year, if we had not spoken about the Chinese-built houses, no move was being made to distribute those houses and so on. They were just there in abeyance. And it's when we pull the clips and show this is what the Prime Minister said during the election campaign that they started to move on it and went another a reopening ceremony. Well, I don't say a reopening. It couldn't be a opening or a ribbon cutting because the facility was already took place and the keys were handed over. And they did the same thing again for St. David and so. Now you're hearing, yes, there are some people living in some of the places. You have a situation in Carriacou where there are literally loads of people, scores of people that need place to stay, that need a home. And I'm speaking of young people here working with children and so on. They have children, but they are working. So it's not people that they have anything and they can't pay anything. And still not being given the opportunity to own one of the houses in the housing scheme in Carriacou. And you have these things taking place all over. And you hear them talking about, oh, we're doing houses and we're doing this and we're doing that. And it's like we have to basically drag them to get them to do their work. What they have promised, they are not delivering. We have to put them and embarrass them to the point where they have to do these things. And that is what we've been doing here. You have to embarrass them to start Project 500 to start to build houses. You have to embarrass them to understand that you have to give out the Chinese houses, even though they still did it wrong. And they gave it to a category of people that the houses were not aimed for. But that is what we had to do. And it seems as though, well, if that's what we had to do, well, 2025, okay, we go up it, you go by 2.2.
Yeah, and it's a warning to them. I mean, like, the honeymoon phase is over. Like, its playtime is over because people's life is at stake. People's future is at stake. Our life is at stake. And running a country is not Mickey Mouse. And let's say Simon says, or a talking point, say something, and you just run and just go and do a reactive measure. No, like, you talk about visionary leadership, you talk about fresh, innovative ideas, you talk about transformation agenda and all of that. Where is it? That's all we're asking. Where is it? How is it coming along? Election is coming soon. Where is even let's say, for instance, let's say, okay, transformation cannot happen overnight. Okay, yeah, let's say that. What sword was turned this year, last year? What sword is going to be turned next year? What building blocks are there for some project to kick off? Billions of dollars in sales for CBI. What new initiative is coming? Like, at least we could see that there is some foundational things moving. So we could be like, all right, they at least working. Let me get them on it. No, it's just radio silence, reactive here, there, pictures in liquor ceremony here, the same photos of roads that was condemned when NMP was in power. We seen this little piece of road done, a small piece of road like this, something get repaired, and we're not seeing those major transformative pillars being set up. I remember our Prime Minister coming in and saying, hey, I'm going to take a net and put out and capture all the seaweed. I'm going to buy 2 planes, because we can't deal with this kind of travel thing. I will call Grenada and tell them, hey, get some truck and go up in the mountain and just shake down the fruits and let it produce, all kind of different thing. Like, I'm like, I need to get some of that herbs that this gentleman is consuming because he seems to be on a high height. It's like, I hit the blunt moment. I mean, come on. I mean, we have to get serious. So as a party, the New National Party, we're not here right now for the personality politics, the gutter attacks, but bet your bottom dollar. 2025, the current government are going to be very uncomfortable because we can't sit down and allow you to keep doing what you're doing. You got to get your act together, and the fire and the heat is going to be cranked up a lot. So be prepared. This is for the people of the country, and the livelihoods and the future of the youth and our people is at stake, and we can't play with that. So be warned.
And again, Kitaka,
about what's going to happen in 2025 and beyond.
It's important for us to state here because I think anybody that's honest to themselves and listens to talking points, we don't attack people personally. We don't go and say, oh, this person is at this and that person is at that and so on. We would state facts in relation to things the person is doing or may have done or lies that the person is telling, but we don't attack people on that personal level. Unlike other platforms, and they can do what they want, that's their platform. They're paying for the platform, they can do what they want with it. But we don't go down that road. And we do give a lot of information on our platforms that is beneficial to the Grenadian people as much as possible, beneficial to the Grenadian people, to try to help them develop and so on, but also to understand what is taking place around them. That is why we're going to go a little deeper into the pension issue. As I said, later this week, we're going to go deeper into the pension issue so that folks can understand what's taking place there. Also in relation to CBI, and you've mentioned CBI a short while ago, there have been absolutely no new projects under the CBI program. In other words, the same projects. Now, this is how the CBI works. You have a project, so you have a developer that comes in with a particular project. The way that project is funded is that developer puts in some money, and then they get money from people, other people outside, people who become shareholders basically in that project. So they would get that, but they are allowed to gain a Grenadian passport by buying into the CBI project, that particular project. There have been no new projects between 2022 when the NDC administration came in and now. No new projects have been added to the CBI. So it's the same project that exists from the time of the New National Party that they are continually selling passports under, continually marketing. The same projects that were there under the New National Party. Nothing transformational, nothing new from these individuals. Only what the New National Party did and had there. That is all they've been able to do. They have not been able to mention or to bring forward not one new project so far. None. No new projects. Only continuing what the New National Party has done. So what is transformational about that? What is new about that? That you're just continuing the projects that the other party did and not even doing it in the proper manner in the first place?
Yep, and also it's a lot of hypocrisy too, because I remember some of those projects were condemned significantly as well, you know, and coming in and then going on frolic in the opening and eating shrimp and having a good time when, like, you know, like there's no philosophy, there's no principle, it's just jumping with the wind, and that's sad because I have colleagues in other Caribbean countries in CBI and they're like, whoa, are they doing real good down in Grenada, boy? And you know, whereas like the average person on the ground is trying to look, and also it's very misleading as well to a Sheldon, because the gross revenue of CBI cannot be seen as revenue to the country.
Exactly.
Because a large percentage of that goes to developers, agents, lawyers, and so on. And maybe out of that billion, maybe you're going to want the books.
Hold on, repeat part of it. A lot of it goes towards lawyers. Let me say it again. Lawyers. Right. And agents. And lawyers who are agents. Right.
And developers, the ball goes to developers in terms of building that project and so on. So it's still a very misleading statistic, you know, but still you got, let's say, a 300 million, 200 million from that. Like, where's that going? What are you doing? Even recently, Sheldon, I have a colleague who is big in the infrastructure and construction sector. And he was saying, boy, he has to travel and go into another country to work because he's seen like the sector is very dead. And he's seen that as one of the most critical sectors. That's his information to me, to the economy, because it's like, okay, construction guys, you know, they have their girlfriends, they spend money, they get paid every week, and it's very critical to the economy. And he's saying, you know, he's seeing things like projects just extending way beyond, like going into so many redesign phases. He's wondering, well, why is that happening? Tendering is not happening as it should. We even saw where they changed the amount for tender from $10,000 to $100,000. I'm even hearing from people in the ministries that individuals are getting contracts and the money up front. They're not even getting the money in stages to finish the project. So it explains why you're seeing big piece of road just not complete, because it's not being managed properly. You know, so it's just so many simple, basic, fundamental things in running a country is just going haywire. It's kind of like daddy not home, the out a lot, the lineman, and the pipe leaking, the garbage isn't going out, the roof leaking, and wifey crying out, baby, spend some time home, and he just out, he going in party, he drinking rum, he lying with girls, he traveling, he swagging out outside, and home is not right. And that's like a perfect analogy of what's going on in the country right now.
Indeed. And folks, we're speaking with Mr. Kitaka Chukumba Mawuto. I get the middle name by. Yes, our good friend here, PRO of the New National Party. He's decided to join us tonight on the first program for the year. And we know we're going to be seeing you a lot during this year. Play no feel again away, you know. We seen you a lot this
I'm
year.
ready.
You had to come on and thing every now and again. You understand?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like my counterpart on the other side.
They
You know?
have a PRO?
Well, recently someone met me. I went to have dinner somewhere, and one of his colleagues met me and is like, "Hey, I see your partner working these days, man. Starting to get a bit more active." So she's saying like the NDC should maybe thank us for putting a little bit more pressure on him, and he's seeing things changing in the party. So I'm not going to be like my counterpart. I'm definitely going to be present and doing the work for the new national party and getting us in a tip-top shape for the next general election, because this is serious business.
But you can't complain, and I don't think they could complain and they could be upset with the guy. If he doesn't have a product to sell, why marketing? What is he don't have a product to sell. What product is he going to sell?
Yeah.
What is he going to market?
I never looked at it like that. It must be very tough for him when he look around and the ideas he could get and like what can he really do.
You're not the sell. You're not the sell. So that's the problem that he's having. You understand? So folks, we have roughly about 10 minutes remaining. I would try to take 1 or 2 calls if you all want to chime in before we end the program tonight, because I know all we Kitaka talking there right now. I know it's have a local one somewhere every now and again, me peeping out a look ahead.
Yeah, man, he goes to bed. He goes to bed 7 o'clock religiously from since he born. So when 7 o'clock he down and out. He's like cartel. I'm out.
That could never be JJ. That is no way. JJ is up right now.
I had to sacrifice it. Man, it means like me and mommy can go on lime. We have to make sure we stay and ensure he goes to bed at 7 and keep it sticking consistency.
Well, people can tell you anyway they see me for the Christmas, they know they see JJ. So yes, indeed. And that's the thing. As youngsters, especially when you have children, and so you have to make the time. You have to make the time and spend the time with them as much as possible.
So him walk NNP. That is like my life right now.
We know it goes, man. We know it goes. And Kitaka, over the Christmas season and since the convention of the new national party, I had to say this to many people out there because one, I realized before, during, and after the convention of the new national party, there's a lot of interest by a lot of folks out there who may have been supporting the other party and they're interested in coming in. Listen, if all you want, we could probably sit down in the veranda, but the house is open. If you want to sit down in the veranda still and take a little breeze, you want to watch, we go get a cup
We'll bring out food for you. We got a little plate of food. You have a cup of lime juice.
Yeah, you're good. You're good to go. So if you want to come and you want to sit down in the veranda first before you enter, you could do that. Right?
Oh, I work for you to do it, so we have to go and fetch some.
We have
wash up the step.
Yeah.
Them kind of things.
Don't worry, we're doing it together. We ain't just putting you to do it, We're doing it together with you. But the house is open because we know a lot of people have been showing interest, especially with our energetic, exciting new leader. Yeah, and she has the support of the institution of Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell there. She has the institution of Honorable Gregory Bowen, a man who understands how institutions function and so on there, and the whole new national party team is behind her. So we know that a lot of you are showing interest. We say the doors are open. You could enter the gate, come in the yard, come and sit down in the veranda still if you don't want to come inside yet. Come and sit down in the veranda. Yeah? And we know there are even people who were members of the new national party and you may have gone astray. We say now is the time to come home. Yeah. Now is the time to come home. The work, there's a lot of work to do. So we need a lot of hands on deck, a lot of minds on deck, a lot of eyes. We need it here. So the work is there. We need you to come home. The bell rings, time to come home.
And interesting to see that because, and I was talking to someone about that recently because if we had listened to the propaganda after December 15th, the NMP was going to be destroyed and the house is dilapidated and it's over. And I mean, we're in January now. It's a new year. We just had a very fantastic strategic meeting, getting ourselves ready. Or a new leader who has exceptional leadership capabilities, even professionally, her degree in leadership and her strategic mind, and Dr. Mitchell behind on all those players, the Young Wave, the Amandas, the Dialis, and all the Mayanas, all bringing the energy together. And for me, rather than what is going on there with the propaganda, like the real truth is, this is a very exciting time for the new National Party. And anybody that's trying to come into the house is the best possible time, because I do prophesy and envision that the great flood is going to be happening. Like, as the momentum builds in 2025, the great flood is going to happen where everybody's going to flock. So you should be smart and don't let the first quarter hit you where you're not in the house. As you see the veranda space, we have a downstairs, we have a bunker, we have a rooftop, we have expanded, and we continue in the expansion. So come on home.
Yes, it's time to come home. They say, come home, come home. All who are weary, come home. We cannot continue the way that we're going right now. Grenada cannot be allowed to continue going down that way. We're seeing our infrastructure fall apart. We're seeing it. It's happening out there. We're seeing our infrastructure falling apart. We're seeing what's happening with the roads and so on. So we're seeing that happening. We're hearing what's happening with the young people. We're hearing what's happening. They made a lot of promises to the civil servants. They made a lot of promises to different sectors in this society. And we're seeing what's happening with them. And in the background, you have the shenanigans taking place with the passport program. You have the shenanigans taking place with the Marketing and National Importing Board. You have all of these other things that are taking place in the background that they are hoping to attack Sheldon Scott, attack Kitaka, attack Simon Says, attack the Prince, attack these people and them. Make them the focus instead of focusing on what is actually taking place in Grenada right now and how you can become part of the process of building Grenada. They don't want you. And we in the New National Party are saying, if you have wandered, don't wander far. Time to come home to the New National Party. Time for us to move forward as one people united for a common purpose to save Grenada.
Right. And Sheldon, you talk about that there, and let me tell you something. I want to make this point. Like, when you're in opposition, you could talk and bust your mouth and say all type of outlandish things, which is what was done. But now you're in government. You're in the driver's seat. Next election, you can come and say, oh, dark too old and NMP this and NMP that. You have to show us your record. You have to show us what you have done. You have to show us the receipts. You can't just come and just bump your gum again. When you're in opposition, you could bust them out. That is not going to cut it, and the people are on red alert. And we at the New National Party are going to ensure that this next election is not about this little pappy show and this person too old and this person not to go. And no. And I want to make this point as well. The only reason why that victory seems so massive in the eyes perceptively to the people is because, one, they never thought they would win. And if you look at the data and the statistics, many of the seats were very marginal. The overall margin was about 2,000 and something votes. Let's look at, if you take away...
We ain't telling them much, but go ahead.
Yeah, but if you take away St. David's, St. George's South, St. George's Northeast, do the maths. Do the maths. So don't think you come in and make drama and them other guys online slandering people and calling them all kind of names. It's not going to work. And for me personally, laser focus. I can't even see, I can't even hear, because we focus on the mission of the people and the country. And that's where it's at, full stop.
And Kitaka, the thing is this, I think some people, it's like you go to a party. We're using a lot of analogies tonight, boy. You go to a party and you see a nice girl, boy. You say, whoa, boy, that girl look nice, boy. Way, boy, nah, boy, I ain't leaving here. Hook up. You go and you try to hook up and all kind of thing, boy, and she looking nice, all kind of thing, and you go, boy, and that is the biggest set of trouble you ever put yourself in by going and get into a relationship with that person. And I think that is what happened to a lot of voters the last time. They watch an individual, he good looking, he pretty. You don't know the person's history.
I like how he talking.
I like how he dressing. I like how he talking. Yeah. You don't check the person's history. You don't find out if the person has ever done anything positive for the country and so on. if they have defended the people that need defending, if they have done their dues and paid their dues to the people of Grenada and done all that needs to be done. But he looking nice, eh? Okay, he does talk nice, eh? I like how he does dress. You don't see sandals? Them kind of thing that you went and vote for. And now you have to understand that that is what you vote for, so that is what you're getting. Meanwhile, you're not getting true substance because you voted for the bling. You didn't vote for somebody that could actually do things. But we forgive you. And we understand that you made a mistake. They get caught up in the dance. They get caught up in the dance. The music and the lights, and they get caught up. We understand.
That's an important point you make, because, and I would add this, like, true leadership is tested in crisis. Now when things nice, now when you come in and you meet $500 million and your chest pop out and you're blasting money everywhere, and then no, you can pay people on time, and then peril hit headless chicken settings. Like, I was thinking the other day, what if COVID had hit us with this government? What if Hurricane Ivan situation had happened with Beryl? Like, I've not seen any demonstration that this current government can lead during crisis. And that is when you really prove yourself, Because you say smooth seas never make a great sailor, It's when the water rough, as my mother would say, is when the dance break, pay. So them kind of things that have me wondering. And as I said, that's why as a party, our leader, our team, we are acting every day like election is tomorrow. That electoral list, we are looking at it hot and with eagle eye because we've seen certain things that we're not feeling happy about. We're going to hear more of that as the couple of days come along, but we are not playing. We're sharpening our machinery and we're on high alert. Because I hear the boss say, election not coming in 2025. We ain't going to be caught with our pants down at all. At all. This is serious business. The people are crying at us every day. NMP, what's going on with all you? We need to hear all you. We need to see something happening. So we have a responsibility to the people, and we're taking it very seriously. We learn from our mistakes over the past years. We're consolidating on what was built by Dr. Mitchell and the team, Gregory Bowen, the Roland Bowlers, and all the people that came from before. And we're using new modern technology, fresh ideas, new leadership, and we're creating the hybrid that could take us into the next era of our development, because this government has a history of one term. Let me look back. This is like going to be the third time when they're going to be having one term in office. And
we guarantee tonight, we guaranteeing that one term. Kitaka, that's all the time we have for tonight, but me, I just have to run. When it's 10 o'clock, I have to run one time because transport. And let me say this before I go. I nearly didn't do the program tonight, because I mentioned to you earlier, the transport that had to pick me up, they had a problem with the radiator, and I actually had to go and take a bus to get to town to get a transport to get up. And I stood there and I said, when I saw close to 7:30, I said, if 7:30 takes me waiting here for the bus, I'm going to cancel the program for tonight. And as soon as I say that, a bus just pull up town. So no excuse. The program had to take place tonight. Kitaka Mauto, we'd like to thank you so very much for being here with us tonight. All power and blessings to you, my brother. And we intend to be speaking with you a lot henceforth as we go forward. Thank you so very much for taking the time.
You have my promise. I wouldn't give you I'm too busy, or you can't give me a phone. You can call me anytime.
Yes, of course. All right, my brother, you have a wonderful night. All right, blessings. Yes, indeed, folks. And that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. And in everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. All know how it goes. I have to run. So we'll be back tomorrow night with more Talking Points here. We do have a guest already scheduled for tomorrow night. And so, we will be speaking with Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox will be on with us tomorrow night on Talking Points. The Deputy Leader of the new National Party will be on with us tomorrow night. So we're looking forward to that one. My name's Sheldon Scott. I am out of here. Love each and every one of you.